Welcome to Dom Solo, everybody. I'm your host, Dom Martino, and sitting down here today with me is Josh Richards. Josh, how you doing today?
Doing pretty good, man.
Good deal. Yeah, so we had just seen The Mandalorian season 2, episode 7, chapter 15, The Believer, and we're going to break that down for you. But before we do that, guys, please hit that like button below, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comments section, and share this with your friends. That is much appreciated. Very much appreciated. So, yeah, let's let's talk about this episode. So before my overall thoughts on this are that I liked it. It was fine. I mean, it wasn't my favorite episode in the season. I doubt it's going to be anybody's favorite episode in the season, but it's not bad. You have to be, unless you're like die hard Bill Burr, and it's like the only reason you watch the show is to wait for Bill Burr to come back. This is not going to be your favorite in the season, but it's not bad, and it needs to be there, and it drives the story forward. But yeah, I enjoyed it for that reason, and I mean, it was good. It was a good little fun heist type episode. It was a really good time. I mean, it definitely did some stuff. Had a good time keeping you at the edge of your seat, definitely, and it was suspenseful as all get out. And Josh, what did you think of the episode overall?
It was a ray of sunshine after that abysmal piece of crap episode we got last week. Was that hack fraud Boba Fett?
Oh, that's why
That
you
was
weren't
just
here.
it was awful. It was a terrible episode. Boba Fett's just a shill of a character. No one cares about him. They push him in there to get people to come back, but he's a trash character and no one will ever care. Hi, Mark.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, I know that you liked the last episode, but it's okay.
Oh no, I'm just saying that to make Mark mad.
I know.
No, this episode it was fine. It served its point.
Yeah,
Like it's fine.
it was fine. Yeah, it was. That's
Yeah.
how I felt. It was like it's all fine. It's so fine. It didn't like piss me off. I understand why it's there. I mean, it's just there was nothing like incredible about this one. Well, there was something at the very end that I thought was pretty amazing, but other than that, there was nothing that was really ridiculously incredible about it. And I was trying to pinpoint what felt so different about this episode, and it wasn't until afterward that I realized the child was not in that episode at all.
No.
So
No, he was on he took some vacation time.
that's probably going to make a lot of people mad. I'm waiting for that outrage to show up online, but we'll see. And man, I mean, yesterday was a big day for Star Wars fans. We got an overwhelming amount of announcements, and I was really starting to think about this though, and the reason that there's more excitement for those announcements and not it's overwhelmingly positive, the reception that they've gotten to those, and it's because of this, and honestly, it's foundation. They used Mandalorian. They built a good foundation to show you this is what we could do on Disney Plus, and I think that is it speaks a lot to what the show's done, the power that the show has. I mean, so it's all exciting stuff. But let's jump into the episode right here in the beginning. Bill Burr's back. We knew that was going to be happening. This episode, by the way, directed by Rick Famuyiwa, who brought Bill Burr in the first time, so I thought it was fitting. And I think Rick Famuyiwa is a good director. I just but now my problem, I don't know. I didn't have like a massive problem with it, but it just felt like they thought people loved this Bill Burr character more than they did. Like they gave him like this like extra sort of spotlight in the beginning. I felt like it calmed down as the episode went on, and it was like, oh, okay, that's back to what I liked about that character. But it felt like they were really trying to play the humor with him, and it was like, well, the humor popped up more naturally in the last time we saw him, and this time I felt like it was written jokes. I don't know. What'd you think of about it?
So actually, I told you before this, I rewatched the whole series over again,
Yeah.
and I remember the Bill Burr episode being one of my favorites. The Prisoner, that's the name of the episode. One of my favorites. Rewatching it, its luster kind of died on me. It's actually one of my least favorites now.
That's interesting.
So
Um,
like this episode, like yeah, there was that light on Bill. And he's a cool character, don't get me wrong. And I like the backstory they add with him, giving him more depth than
Right.
angry Boston man in space.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I still really enjoyed that episode last time I binged through it. Yeah, I don't know. It's just I think that it just I love Bill Burr. I just feel like they really this episode makes me think that they think this character's better than he is, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just how I felt and it just it rubbed me the wrong way when we first got him again. But when we moved on, it got better. I mean, you know, then Cara Dune, shows up with Boba Fett, and Boba Fett did not just take a shower with his armor on. He went to the steam room with that armor on. He went to the Emerald City to get that thing buffed out. That thing was looking fresh, like it was clean, man. It looked crazy clean. I thought it was cool, actually. Like I really enjoyed that. And
He used stormtrooper blood for it.
I don't know. It was something to see him appear again. And the first time I did actually kind of chuckle was when Bill Burr did I thought you were somebody else, and then Mando walked out. Like I thought that was funny. That was the first time I chuckled. Not that the episode needed to be funny necessarily, but that if they're gonna go for all the jokes, I mean, at least give me one that's gonna hit, and it did. That one did. And that droid got annoying. Like the first time he said it, okay, but where he was like, "You've made." I'm guessing what he was trying to say is, "You've made bail," but he used a number. It was like 3667. He kept saying it over and over.
Yeah.
It got on my nerves a little bit right there, and I don't know. It was just something about it. It didn't vibe too well, but I whatever. I mean, then we get into The Believer, the title, and I'm actually not quite sure why they decided on The Believer at this point. I mean, did you find anything in the episode to really justify? It's not a huge deal, but
Yeah, I don't know why it was called that.
yeah.
Like the whole time watching, like, why is it called The Believer?
I mean, I was trying to tie it into what ends up ultimately happening with, Mando and his helmet, and all that, but I don't know. I still don't get it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I didn't catch it either.
Just an odd title. It was really an odd title, but it's not like it ruins the thing. It's just
Yeah, no.
odd to. Yeah, so we go out. We're going out on this mission, and they're driving on this. Bill Burr ends up taking them to. No, they're on this freighter, not freighter. They're on the ship. I'm sorry, Slave One. And so when they're on the Slave One, Bill Burr's talking about, okay, well, in order to get it's another one of these episodes. We got to do this to get this, and it's the video game episode again. And I'm okay with that. It's just, I thought like the second to last episode of the season would have been just a little more epic than it was. Like I have high hopes, obviously, for the last episode. I don't think they're not going to go out with a bang with everything they've given us so far, but. What a Bill Burr, his character Mayfeld, I guess we should call him, but he was, we got to go to Womack. We got to go to Warmack, and Jarn's over there going, there's nothing on Warmack. It's like, dude, every time somebody tells you about a planet, you say that. You say there's nothing there. We don't need to go there. And it's like, at this point, don't you think you'd stop doubting that, things are on planets? There's been things on planets every time. But I guess I get it, because it's like Mayfeld's a ex-con.
A believer.
He's a believer. There you go. There it was. Yeah, but you'd think he would just, be a believer at this point. But he's not, apparently. And so he, yeah, whatever. That's a stretch. So they end up going to this Warmack planet, and I enjoyed the mission overall. Like I thought it was cool. I mean, they end up having to disguise themselves, Bill Burr and Mando. They're having that conversation, and on one end, I'm like, this feels reminiscent of everything, or not everything, but things that I've seen in the past in movies. And it's you always got that guy that's talking too much, and that's kind of what Bill Burr played here. in this earlier or the first half of it, which I was okay with. It didn't really bother me that much. Just felt a little. I understand they're trying to they're taking inspiration from so many other things that they love, but like that just felt like a little too reminiscent of things we've seen before, in like heist movies and stuff. But okay, we're on the mission. So we're driving through this through Warmac, and I didn't mind the conversation of Bill Burr trying to like compare the two of them. I thought that was okay. He's trying to get him to, why can't you take your mask off, or why don't you believe that you can take your mask? I'm trying to find any connection here. But yeah, I don't know. Did you like all that, the conversation between the two, or were you
It
sour
was,
on it?
I don't know, it was fine. Like,
Yeah,
it's this whole episode just kind of baseline for me.
yeah,
Like, did it disappoint, but didn't it live up to expectations?
right. I mean, when the ties came in, it started to get kind of cool. Not the ties. I mean, we had the action scene with these. Um, I
The
don't even know.
pirates.
Yeah, I guess I don't even know what kind of species this was supposed to be, but they were pirates, and so that was okay. And then when the tie, I mean, it was okay action. It was very subpar.
Well, so that whole fight sequence, the
Yeah.
train or them jumping on it and boarding it, the music and how they were doing it reminded me so much of Fury Road.
Oh, yeah. Maybe that's what they were trying to get at.
Because
It,
like the music even felt reminiscent of it, but
mm,
not exactly it.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe that was part of the problem that I was having with this episode. Is like everybody just, or so many things just felt too reminiscent of things we've seen before. And I don't know. I mean, like even like even when they're driving through the thing, and just because of the environment, I mean, I just felt like, oh, this is Jurassic Park. That's how it felt. It didn't feel original as I guess as some of the prior episodes. I mean, they've managed to give fan service, take inspiration from things in the past, but also be original about how they've done it. And this episode just didn't do that. Again, like I'm perfectly okay with it because it drove the story forward in a very natural seeming way. It's just when you put it next to two episodes that were hype as hell. I mean, it's it's really tough. It's tough competition. Again, I think Rick Famuyiwa is a good director. I think he did a good job, but for what he had to do, I guess. But anyway,
I got a little nitpick here.
yeah.
Okay, so do you remember when they put the grenade while they had Mando pinned?
Mm-hmm.
Did you feel that took a little too long to go off compared to the others they were doing? That
I
feel a little character shieldy?
didn't catch it. I'll have to, or like I didn't like pay much attention, I guess. So
Yeah.
maybe I'll check it out again. Yeah, I don't know. One of the things here though that excited me is when the ties came in, and then, was it here that the seismic charge went off, or was it later? Because there's two times with the slave one.
It was. I think it was later.
Okay, we'll get to it later. Yeah, you're right. It was later. Well, my bad. Nothing really excited me here. The ties coming
Yeah.
in were okay, and it was, yeah, you're right. It was later. That because they really, I remember they cut like really quickly into the base, and so
Yeah.
like they're into the base, and which wasn't a criticism. I just feel like this episode was, that's how it was paced. Everything was cut, quickly together. It felt like, and well, maybe that is a criticism too, because like we this episode was shorter than typical, and
Yeah,
um
38 minutes.
yeah, and there were honestly some cuts that felt a little off, like they were trying to like rush through it at times. And I understand they were trying to have a quicker pace to it, but it just I like to spend a little more time with these characters, and yeah, we didn't really get a lot of that. But anyway, so the Bill Burr goes over to the he goes into this base, and I was actually okay with all of this. Like I thought that this stuff worked really well. Where he saw the guy, he got cold feet, didn't want to do it. He was like, "All right, we got to abort mission." This is like I thought like it was like this is how you played him the first time, and it's working really well here. And so he was, he's getting cold feet. Mando's like, no, 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 and I like this. I'll tell you why I like this so much is because when he does finally take off the helmet and he walks in front of people without the helmet, and you're like, well, this has been set up really well, because in the past obviously he would have like flipped out about this. He's still hesitant, but he's not flipping out about it, because now he's met people like Bo-Katan, and he's been spoken to by Cara Dune, who's an outsider looking into this ridiculous philosophy that he has, you know, about the helmet. Now it's like, okay, it's he's hesitant, and he played it really well. Pedro Pascal did, like, where he was like, he didn't like it, but he was on the same hand, you know, a little more relaxed than he would have been, say, in the first season, you know. Plus, now he's taking it off in front of the droid last season. You know, you have all these different things that kind of built to the moment. Like, okay, now when he's taking it off, it's not as big a deal to him. So he moves in, but still a big deal. But he moves in with this. He's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. Moves in. He needs to get the face scan. I knew. I thought this was predictable. The scan was not going to get the helmet. I knew that was going to be the thing, and that he was going to have to take it off. So he ended up taking off the helmet, and the face scan recognized it, and so he ends up getting the blueprints that he needs and all that, and coordinates of the ship, and he starts to take off with it, and he's like, stop right there. This is Richard Blake, right?
Yeah, Foxy the Midnight Wolf, man.
All right, so Richard Blake.
I think it's Blake or Break. Let me check real quick.
Richard Brake. I think Brake sounds more familiar to me. Anyway. But anyway, so
it is Break.
Brake. Okay, I'm sorry. Richard Brake moves into, he's halt right there, and Mando's, freezing up. He doesn't know anything, and he's asking him all this info that Mando's not going to know. So Mayfeld or Bill Burr, whoever, comes back in and is like, this is my trainee, which I thought was really clever. And I'm glad they, I'm glad Bill Burr took the high road here, ended up helping him out. So he's like, all right, let's go get a drink. Or what do you call them? Brown eyes. I actually like that.
Yeah.
I thought that stuff worked
We
really
call
well.
them brown eyes.
Yeah, I thought, what was it? Is brown eyes, right? That was,
because he says we call them brown eyes.
Yeah. So I thought that worked really well. I was really, I was enjoying that. And then they had this conversation, about the New Republic. They're like, oh, we don't like where this is going. So they start, blasting up the place, and it's a whole shootout. And I don't know. What'd you think of all that? Were you?
I mean, Foxy the Midnight Wolf, man, alone, that episode brought it from like a D to a C plus.
Yeah.
That's. Sorry, there's a cat. A D to a C plus.
Yeah.
Because I love that actor.
Yeah.
He plays just fantastic characters.
Mm-hmm.
Even when he gets a bit role, it's very memorable.
Yeah, I thought he did well in the episode.
Yeah.
I want to point that out. I thought he did well.
I think at this point I started to enjoy what's it? Mayfeather? Is that his name?
Mayfeld.
And Den's dynamic they had at that point.
Yeah.
And I did like seeing, like, because Mando had the helmet off, he's very awkward because he's not used to it.
Right.
And kind of what you're saying earlier, all the stuff building up to him taking the helmet off is also, you can see that the child is now more evidence that the child really matters to him.
Yeah.
Because that's what's at stake. That's what made him kind of question his belief.
Yeah. I mean, and I'm one of the guys who, I like the helmet being on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
Definitely.
It's like, but this felt very earned, and so, if you're going to have it off, I want it to feel warranted and earned, and it did. It was like, well, he didn't have a choice. He's got to go save this kid, so it made a lot of sense to me. But anyway, so we move into this part. This is the part with the ties that I was talking about. This excited me because I said this, you weren't here last week, but I said this on the breakdown last week. They better use a seismic charge if they're going to bring in Boba Fett and the Slave One. I want to see a seismic charge, and so they're escaping again, and it's a whole action scene. This action scene I was much more high on than the prior one. And then when Boba Fett pulls out the seismic charge, boom! I get excited every time. I fucking love that sound, and I like their seismic charges are like the coolest thing about. Well, we'd really only seen it with Jango before, but you know what I mean. The Slave One, yeah. It's awesome. I mean, Amazing stuff. This is something I wanted to bring up too, because do you feel like they're playing into this Din Djarin and Cara Dune romance thing? Because I really feel like they do, and I don't like it. Or the
I
trailer.
feel like it's sprinkling in, but I'm not too sure.
I hope if they do it, they build it to win me over on it, because so far, if they're just gonna go into that, it's not winning me over. I'm not enjoying it, honestly. Like, I like the two characters working together, but I don't want them to date each other. Like, I think it just doesn't work, like, right now. They don't have that kind of rapport, I don't feel like, but it feels like, I don't know.
They only seen each other, what, 3 times, 4 times now?
Right, and it feels like the show's trying to, like, force, against it somewhat, and it's trying to push, and they're trying to push into it, and I'm like, no, because it doesn't feel natural right now. It just doesn't, and so don't. But okay, whatever. But I like her character. I'm glad she's showing up still.
Oh no, I love that character.
Yeah, yeah. It's not the character. I really love the character. I want more of that character. I was
exactly
a little bummed I didn't get more of her in this episode, to be honest with you. But I yeah, she works really well. I mean, yeah, there was some good stuff that she did in this, like action wise, and so she. I mean, I love the part where Bill Burr was like, "All right, officer, take me in." I mean, at one end, it's like, okay, we know that they're gonna let him go. I felt like I knew that. Like it just felt a little predictable the way they were playing into it. But yeah, it was cool. I mean, she was like, too bad Mayfeld died back there. I thought that stuff was really awesome, and Din Djarin was, yeah, he was like, he plays into it too. He plays along. He's like, yeah, too bad, And then Bill Burr's like, oh, can I just go then? And yeah, Amanda gives him the nod, and so I mean, that's really it. And she's like, did we get what we needed? And he said, yeah. And she's like, okay, so where to now? And then I think is like what is the coolest scene in the entire episode is the message that he sends over to Moff Gideon. They switch over to the Empire. Moff Gideon, I got something to show you, and it's like almost line for line everything Gideon told him in the first season. You have something I want, And then Din Djarin's replaying that. I was like, this is amazing. They are setting it up. I gotta say, I'm slightly bummed though that because like they started to get me back on board with Mayfeld, and I enjoyed seeing Bill Burr again. I'm a little bummed he's not going to be joining the team to go get the child. Like I thought that's what they were going to play into this whole time.
He's not joining the Avengers Endgame team.
Yeah, like but exactly, which they're definitely building up. But don't you think that he would have been useful on the ship too, on the Starfighter, right?
He would have known, the layout and everything.
Right, that's weird to me. It's almost like how they use Finn and like Force Awakens and all that when they were like, well, you're Imperial, yeah, of course we're gonna bring you. You would think the same thing with the Mayfeld character, but I guess not. So there's that. I wasn't too thrilled about that. I was like, oh, I'm sad now. Unless he finds his way back somehow. I doubt we have the time, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, the message was cool. But yeah, what'd you think of I guess the way the episode wrapped overall?
Oh yeah, no, the ending was awesome. It did its job. That last scene supposed to get you excited for next week.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was cool.
This episode was just cannon fodder to get you one more weekend.
Yeah, I feel the same, and it's a bummer. I mean, it's not a bummer, but it's, I don't know. I'm very lukewarm on this, I guess, and I don't feel like it wasn't great, but it wasn't bad by any means either. Like it had the elements that we like about the show in there still, and it kept a lot of it, and yeah, it's keeping the show afloat for now for the week. And I don't know if it's because we got all those super hype announcements last night or what it is. It's just this morning I'm just feeling pretty lukewarm on this episode. So.
See, I'm happy you agree as well, especially since you being a bigger Star Wars fan than I am.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was just being negative because I wanted to play Cyberpunk.
No. I don't think so.
Like, the whole episode, I was just like, I guess.
Yeah, and the other reason I'm bummed about that is because I feel like, and now we're at like a different element. This show's like taking on it's in a new caliber now, and like, but like I feel like Rick Famuyiwa actually directed 2 of my favorites last season. So I was like a little bummed to see him come back and just, it's a little lukewarm. It wasn't terrible, but little lukewarm on it. And yeah, like you said, it's there. It keeps the show afloat till we can get to the finale. Yeah, I just thought they would have built out this. We'll see where it goes, But I thought they would have built out this mission across like two pretty lengthy, decent, meaty episodes. You know what I mean? And I just assumed that Bill Burr was going to come along on that, but whatever. Yeah, but anyway, did you have anything else you want to add about the episode? Or
No, not really.
no other nitpicks or anything like that
Yeah,
that you can think of? Or yeah. I mean, I guess we want to get really nitpicky. The only other thing I would say is, why did the face recognition ultimately recognize his face? But that was weird. But
yeah,
if you want to get
point.
incredibly nitpicky, but maybe it's, I don't know, something to do with something. I don't know, something with the armor. But
here's one. The Slave One, is this supposed to have amazing scanning software?
why? I think so. Yeah.
Because Bill Burr was like, "Oh, they have it hidden on the planet. No one's ever able to find it." And then Boba Fett's like, "Oh, it's right there."
Oh. I don't know. I think it is.
I don't know much about Slave One specs.
Yeah, I think so.
Know.
Yeah, Battlefront 2 it did.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, if that's pre-established, then yeah, that's fine. But I didn't know if that was just.
Yeah, when you play it, as and in Battlefront 2, when you fly the Slave One in any of those starfighter modes, I mean, you definitely you can. There's a point where you get to where you can actually actually scan for like other ships around you, and yeah, so it made sense to me.
Okay, all right, yeah, as long as that's that's fine then.
Yeah, I wasn't too upset about that. That didn't bother me one bit. But yeah, guys, listen, so this has been fun. This is where we're gonna wrap up. Like I said, guys, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section below. Very excited for next week. We're gonna get to the season 2 finale. I hope it's more hype than this episode. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. I think they're definitely gonna go out with a banging. I think I said this last week, Josh. I think Lucas is directing the finale.
You think so?
Uh-huh. Yeah, I think so. He was on set for Ahsoka. They said that, and yeah, they like, think about it. They've announced their entire slate of directors. Each one of the directors on that slate has gotten one episode per director, but for some reason they're keeping it under wraps who's directing this last one. So I think it'd be awesome if we saw this incredible episode. It was like the best one, and then the credits roll George Lucas. I think that would be amazing. I mean,
well, they better get their salad bar ready then.
Oh yeah. Yeah, guys, so thanks for joining. Josh, you typically don't have things to plug, but I'm sure no, play Cyberpunk. Is that what
I sound pretty well. I don't think I need to plug that.
All right.
Evil Dead video game coming out.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, we could, if I really wanted to, I could name like all the other 100 announcements that came out yesterday, but not going to get into that because then we'll be here for another half hour. So, all right, guys, thank you for joining. I've been Don Martino. Please like this video, subscribe to the channel, leave some feedback in the comment section, share this with your friends. Josh, thank you for joining. It's always fun. Yeah. And we will see you guys next week. All right. Thank you. Bye-bye.